It's the end of the day with Ray. Hello, my friends. Okay, today on my flat screen interactive board from ClearTouch, I have none other than three really good friends and three really good companies that are coming together to help our dealer friends in this time of pure absolute insanity where we all got served a whole bunch of crappy ass lemons that are sour than hell. And Aaron, how are you doing, Aaron from Clover Imaging?
I'm doing fantastic, Ray. Thanks for having me on.
Fantastic. So you guys put together this through the CIA program. You got Norma Conackey from MPS Toolbox, yourself from Clover, my good friend Wes McCarter from NextEra, the guy with all the damn data. And you put together this webinar series. I think Wes is coming up tomorrow, actually, this first Thursday. So tell me a little bit about the series, what brought all this about.
Well, in January, we launched a new program at Clover called the Clover Imaging Alliance. And one of the taglines we have at Clover is called Success and Partnership. And I think now more than ever with what's happening in our worlds, we need to partner. We need to come together to be better. And under this Clover Imaging Alliance, we've partnered with Wes and NextEra and Norm and MPS Toolbox. And the whole concept here is to put on a webinar that, you know what, life has dealt us a bunch of lemons. So how do we come together to identify some ways that we can help our partners reduce costs, find new revenue opportunities, and just leverage the data that we have in our business to be better?
Well, I got to tell you, I think the whole economy is based on three things in my world. You got income, you got cost, and then you got savings. And right now, the whole channel is losing their damn income. It's falling off the cliff. We've all seen that. We can control our cost, but until we control our cost, we're going to pull from our savings, and eventually something's going to give. So I think the three of you coming together kind of fill that void. So, Norm, what's your part of the lemonade stand, man?
Well, yeah, it's a three-part series, Ray, and obviously the first one is just focused on the dealership and getting things right. So it's Save the Lemon is the topic there. The second one that Aaron's going to be presenting next week is going to be getting more juice from the lemon that you have. And the third one is obviously why I've got the pod here of lemons. It's just get more lemons. And with everything that's been going on with the crisis, we've been very busy with a lot of our accounts and adding new resellers on board. Just look around at what people have been doing personally. A lot of e-commerce, a lot of digital transactions with their customers. So, that's one of the things that MPS Toolbox has been diligent about and really trying to bring to the market over the last 4 or 5 years is really understanding how a dealership with, so much potential, so many customers can look at some of the additional revenue streams, within the dealership, within their customer base to increase that. So we're really going to focus my webinar on the digitization of the dealership and also increasing the number of revenue streams that the customer is accessing from the dealership.
Well, I got to say, because there's millions of dollars being sold to our dealer customers right now that the dealers aren't getting the money for because it's going through that digital intersection. So I agree 100%. I know you've been busier than hell. You probably wish that all these dealers that are calling you now were calling you over the last 4 or 5 years so they could have been prepared for this. But, coming out of this, we have the new normal. If we all pay attention, it'll all come together. And Wes McCarter, you're the guy with all the data. You're up first. And, how is this? We've heard you talk about your data before. People either listened or they didn't. It's kind of frustrating sometimes for me when they don't listen to the damn data. But, what are you going to bring to light in the webinar tomorrow?
Well, I think that the key is when you're talking about saving the lemon, you've got to figure out how to do something differently tomorrow than you did yesterday. And the fact of the matter is that as an industry, we have gotten away with being a little less disciplined than we probably could. So I think that this is the perfect opportunity to find ways of changing our modus operandi over the last few years and do it better. There's a tremendous amount of inefficiency in the system. We always use the excuse that we were too busy to do anything about it because their business was good, the economy was booming, everybody was cranking and going. That's changed. And now we've got to start making the hard decisions. How do we come back? Who do we bring back? How do we implement processes and changes that optimize this revenue stream or what's left of it to maintain our profit margins? So at the end of the day, we're hoping everybody starts taking a more critical approach to data and then create processes from that data that actually change the bottom line.
Well, I remember a long time ago, a senior executive that managed me told me, Ray, really good sales make up for really poor management. So make sure you stay healthy selling. So the reality of it is, I think our industry was in that boat. We had good sales, good hardware sales, even though they were dipping. but we mismanaged a lot of things because we weren't really concerned. If you're not concerned now, sell your damn dealership to someone that probably is concerned, because we're not going to come into some rose garden after this. And I hope that they pay attention to the data that you have. Is there anything that you can kind of tease us with that's staggering with the data right now that people ought to be made aware of?
Well, obviously, as an industry, our data, as I've said for a long time, that 50 to 60% of all the service calls that happen because of the dealership, not because of the customer.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're gonna make a broad brush stroke, first thing you have to do is figure out who's generating all the service calls and how are we going to stop that, because that creates a manpower need that's no longer going to exist when we come out of this.
Well, I got to tell you, my friends, this is I believe this to be the most important webinar that we could attend. And I'll guarantee you, because I know these three gentlemen up here, we're not going to have a webinar that everybody's going to get off of and say, oh, everything's going to be just perfect. Thanks for making us feel good. It'll probably make you feel a little bit tough. It'll scare you a little bit, but it's from the fear. It's from being scared that hopefully will drive some action, because there's a whole lot of, fluff out there. We don't need any more fluff. We need real executives coming to the table with real damn solutions to help our channel grow and move in the direction that it needs to move. Is there anything anybody wants to say before we wrap this up?
Hey, Ray, just, from my side, thanks a lot for having us on today. I think that the industry is in need of new partners, new ideas, and I think that there's a lot of cost savings opportunity within the business today that we can look at through some of the big data with Wes. And there's a lot of cross-selling opportunities between what we're doing here at Clover and what's happening with MPS Toolbox. So I'm pumped for the webinar tomorrow, and if you guys out there listening get a chance, please tune in and let us know your thoughts.
Norm, you got any final thoughts?
Just for those that are coming on the webinar, one of the things we're promoting and offering is, between the three companies, we can do an excellent digital audit to help customers understand what some of those cost savings are and what some of the opportunities are, and really give real numbers as to what, how we can help impact and improve the revenue and decrease the cost of each dealership.
Well, I thank you guys. I'm going to end this like I always do. Status quo is the killer of all that'll be invented. Don't get stuck in status quo, and we'll see you all on that webinar tomorrow.